Hey guys, Ashley here. This is my long-awaited review of the non-linear video editor Adobe Premiere Pro CS6. I've been using this app to edit my videos ever since my first look video, on this channel as well as my personal channel. This is a very powerful and confusing video editor, and if you are just getting started into the world of YouTube and video editing, I would not recommend it. But if you will be doing lots of complicated cuts and effects to your videos, then this might be just what you're looking for. There are two main competitors to Adobe Premiere Pro on the market, and they are Final Cut Pro from Apple and Avid Media Center from Avid. The benefits of using Premiere Pro over Final Cut or Avid are the dynamic link, which lets you send your files to After Effects or Photoshop and back to Premiere Pro without having to render out your projects, and the feature of Premiere being available on multiple operating systems, so you can edit on an operating system of your choice and send your video files to someone editing on the opposite platform without having to render out into XML or use third-party software. So let me show you Premiere Pro in action. Okay, so Premiere is down here, disguised as Final Cut Pro. Let's open it up. I'm running a Windows custom theme, that's why it looks like Ubuntu. That I might do a future video on that. The theme, if you ask, is called Maverick, and it's a third-party theme. So as you can see, Final Cut is really Premiere. Let's open it. This is the latest version of Premiere Pro, and there is a 30-day free trial available at adobe.com, and there is also, you can also buy it from adobe.com, and it is part of the Creative Suite. It might be a bit slower because of my screen capture, but that's about it. That's the only other thing running in the background. So this is what you get when you first open Adobe Premiere. So it's a welcome page, and it basically asks you can open a new project, open a previous project, or get help. That help button will link you to Adobe's forums, and you also have your recent projects here, such as Review, Premiere Pro Review, which was a different clip that failed, and Trial Edit, which is actually the way I edit the YouTube. It's actually a clip that I use to edit my YouTube videos for my personal channel. So this is how you make a new project. I'm just going to show you this. Well, obviously you just click new project. You get the new project window up, which down here you can name it. So call it Video for Premiere Pro Review. You can also choose where to save it here. That's where I choose to save them. You can browse different places, so yeah. And these are different settings, which I usually leave as they are. So hit OK. You're then asked for your sequence settings. So you can have multiple sequences, such as like different edits in the same thing, in the same project. I prefer to have different projects for different things, but you know. So I've got sequence settings, normal settings, and tracks. I prefer just to leave it alone. Also down here you can name it, so I can name my project, my sequence, but I usually just call them sequence 1, 2 and 3, and so on. So let's name it Trial for Premiere Pro Review, and hit OK. So after that it loads you into your editing workspace. So this is where you edit. You've got all your different windows. So this is how it looks when you first install it. As you can see, you can change it about. So here, this is how it first is, and you've got your timeline viewer, you've got your source viewer, all your different project settings and files and stuff. Then here you've got your timeline, and here are your different tools. I prefer to work in this workspace, in which you've got source, your program viewer, your timeline, tools, media browser and features, and your project window. So that's basically it. I've set up a project already so that we can do the review with, so we've got all different files and stuff. To switch projects, instead of closing out of it and reopening it, which will take forever, you just go to File and open Recent Project, and you can click whichever one you want. So I'll go to Review, which is the one I've got, and there we go. So we've got all the different files here. So as you can see, I've got some video audio files, some audio only, and a multicam. So, and also you've got the sequence. So all the sequence is automatically made. So basically, let's start editing. So if you want to get a file, so if you want to see a clip in the source viewer, just double click it. If it's an audio clip, you'll see the wavelengths. Hit space and it will start playing. And yeah, then if you've got a video audio file, you can click it and you see a video and you see it. It was just a random clip of something that was made. I don't know why I have it, but anyway, yeah. So if you want to get it into your timeline, you just click, hold and drag and it snaps in. Sometimes this comes up, you just hit change sequence settings to optimize the settings for the clip. So you can then drag, but if you want a clip that isn't there, right click, import, and then you find your thing. So this is what's in my Google Drive. I can bring in a picture. So you can bring in pictures, drag them on. There we go. So if you want to zoom out, double click the picture until you find this, then drag it down. Actually looks like it's really weird when it moves. But anyway, so resize it basically like that. And there you go. So let's bring in some audio now. Nope. Let's bring this one in. This is the one I played earlier, so let's just give it a quick listen. Well, yeah, you get the idea. So you've got say you've got all the clips you need. Let's zoom in a bit. So we've got all the clips we could want. We've got, and they are where we need them. So the next step is to start the editing, and we don't have to put all the clips in late at the same time. I could then bring in this audio, put it there later on if I wanted to. Just get rid of that. Okay, so so you can zoom in and out by dragging this on the timeline. There you go. So we can drag them along. I've got the snap feature enabled, and you can do that just by clicking this button. If it's off, you can do all stuff like that. Okay, let's bring all that back, and there we go. Enable that. And then we can use each of these tools are assigned a letter. So I can go to the razor tool by pressing C, back to the selection tool by pressing V. This is track select is A, so if I press A it will jump to it. C, V, A, V, A, C, C, V, A, C, V, C, A, V, V, C. Anyway, so let's just go back to that tool. We can drag them all about with the selection tool and so on. So just by hitting spacebar we can play. And yeah, so if I drag that to there, drag this to there, pressing left and right you can skip frame by frame, and so on. So also here of course you have your, so up here you've got all your effects and stuff. I just leave it on the source monitor unless I need the effects controls. but right now I don't. So, say you wanted to put an effect on this picture. It's really blurry and you need it... No, say it's really dull and you need it clear. So what I use is called, if I can remember, levels. So search levels and just click, hold and drag onto the clip. Then go to the effects controls, and as you can see, here's levels. So if I get rid of levels, it's gone. Drag it on and it's automatically there. So you've got all of these different features. Honestly, the only ones I use are the black and the white. You increase the black to make it darker, decrease the white to make it lighter. They might just think, hold on, what's the point in doing both of them? They'll just look the same. If I turn the effect off, it looks dull. See? It makes it look so much better. And it's a great effect for video and audio and pictures as well. Also you can scroll through, say you have, so let's make a new project, a new sequence. Say you have this video, my brother wanted a video of him riding about on his bike, so I've got that there. So you can see it's really blurry, but let's see what we can do with these levels. Here we go, so apply, make it a bit darker. So let's take it up to say 40. And then take the white down to 235. Well, it doesn't do anything about the blurriness, but it does make it look better. Let's see, is there any video adjust effect? Let's sharpen it, yeah? Let's use the sharpen tool. Put the sharpen one on. Sharpen is here, so let's make it sharper. And it just makes it really ugly. Maybe we need a little bit. So let's take it up to say 20, 40, 50. No, it's probably too bad. Let's zoom out. I don't know how big it usually is, but anyway, let's say that. Well, yeah, there's not much you can do about a video that bad. Of course, you can make it change the opacity if you wanted to, like that, and then you can put it on a second part, on track 2, then put a picture underneath it. This is the same picture I had before. So big. There we go, fine now. So let's take it to say that bit to this size, and then no, let's put that there. There we go. So this is what's seen first, the picture, and then we get the video. So let's put this opacity back to 100. Let's put this opacity to 30. You can now see the video through it. Actually gets pretty cool. So that's a pretty cool feature. Oh, then you get loads of them. You get loads of these video effects. You get all of these. You can also get loads of audio effects and transitions for both video and audio. All of these. Loads and loads of features. I have no idea what most of these do. The only ones I actually know are the two I've already told you. And even then, I was guessing. This texturized one. Yeah, this texturized one. This is the only other one I know. This is pretty cool. So we go back to here. We can just take this picture, drag texturize onto it. It makes it more cartoony. So put it there. Let's just mute this audio and get rid of levels and take texturize and increase it. I don't know which. Hold on. Oh, here we go. So it makes it more... What is really much? Okay, it makes it more... It's hard to explain. But yeah. Well, you get the idea. So let's go on to something else. So here, this is pretty simple. Razor tool, which I was showing you before. It's basically used to cut the clip up. So I could have... So if I if I deleted that, if I wanted this, but I only wanted a portion of it, then we find my in point, so say there, press I, take it to, say there, press O, that's my in and out point. Then what you do, now what the thing is, I don't really understand how you get that certain part of it. As you can see, you can drag it around. Only that certain bit, this clip will be rendered, I guess. So that's not what I would do. So you use the razor tool to cut along. Say I wanted, get rid of all that. So say I only wanted a certain part, and yeah. So I'd find where I wanted. I'd add a marker. Then I'd go to my out point and set a marker, and then I just zoom in as far as it'll go, get my razor tool and split it. Thing is, you'll see it frame by frame and skip frame by frame. So if I can find there's the end point there. So click, and there we go. Then did I click? No, click there. Then go back to the selection tool, zoom out, and as you can see, I've got the markers. That's a keyframe which I can delete. So I can split, take these clips apart. This is the one I don't want. Delete these two. But say I realise, hold on, I just cut a second or so off. I'm not going to have to re-clip it, am I? No. Click it. See that red line? So you see it until you get that. Just bring it out a little bit, and you'll regain all the clips you took off. And you can actually see it there. So you can say, I need it till about, say there, when where the other guy was in the corner. So they say there till he's right there. So that's pretty much how I do it. But it's the same at the beginning, basically. We'll go back to the beginning, and it says here where it's popped up, trim media limit reached on video 1. So yeah, drag it there, and yeah. So if you want audio, it's pretty much the same. Drag it onto an audio clip there. So hold on. Say you've got that there, and you've got this here. You want to bring in audio over it. So you put the audio in audio 2, but you're like, how do I get rid of the audio pinned on it? I can't put... There's multiple ways of doing it, basically. There's one way, you can just drag the audio you need on top. Then if you drag it away, as you can see, that other audio's gone. Or you can select it all, right click and hit unlink, then select the audio and delete. Or you can do this, you can just... Now, if it does say mute here, you can't do that, because that will just mute it, so when you render it out, it will still be there. So, you don't want to do that. So those are the two methods. I prefer the unlink and delete, but just dragging on top makes it a lot quicker. So yeah. So this is not just a tutorial, this is a review. So, as you can see, there are loads of settings, but not too many. So these are easy to understand if you need to. And yeah. What makes it better than... What if you're transferring from Avid or Final Cut to this? Well, you don't want to learn new quick keyboard shortcuts. Nope. Edit, and then keyboard shortcuts, you get this window up. You can change it from Adobe Premiere Pro CS6 to CS 5.5 if you're upgrading, Avid Media Composer if you're coming from Avid, or Final Cut Pro 7. People did move from instead of upgrading to Final Cut Pro 10 for many reasons. Maybe Final Cut 10 didn't have the features they needed. Maybe anything. I don't know. You click here and it automatically changes. So I think it's always been space just to play, right? Space, play, stop, total, yeah. Or you can set your own. So, yeah, if I wanted this feature, right, this feature, this feature to be easily accessible as Control 7. Nope. You have to have one. Control 7 has already been set apparently. You can easily get rid of it, or anything. If you want this, Control Alt Tab, oh nope, Control W. It says the shortcut Control W is already in use by the application file close command. That command will no longer have a keyboard shortcut. Okay, this is going to be Alt Q2. It won't let you do 2, but anyway, there you go. You can then hit Save As and give it a name. You can call it you can give it a random name, such as random name that is very imaginative. And then you can skip from that, and then you can have a frame round to name, set it back to CS6 and whatever. I actually prefer the CS6 one, so I'll go to custom and delete it. I'll go to random name that is very imaginative and delete it. But you cannot delete the default ones. Okay. You can also rearrange everything. Literally, this layout is immensely customizable. You get all of these already in there, apart from this one which I made. You can get meta logging, you can get effects, you can get CS 5.5. There is a little difference between CS 5.5 and my preferred one. I'll go into it after. This is the way it originally comes. This is the CS6 one. I honestly don't like it because the features are all the features are squished together here. It's all just stuck here. Media browser, info, effects, markers, all there. And your history. You can actually delete certain history. So you can delete anything, I guess. Anyway, it's all just stuck in one place, and you've got big windows here. Ugh. Okay, you've also got your colour correction, and which is actually quite confusing, to be honest. And you've got your audio, if you do a lot of audio editing. So you've got an audio source monitor here. Another feature I want to show you is actually... let's just go to... oh, it's gone. Anyway. Another feature I want to show you is... if I can... anyway, here. So you do have audio... you can actually do a voiceover. But it's not that obvious. So if you want to do a voiceover, all you have to do... so select, here's your 3 audio levels. You see you've got here 3 audio tracks, 1, 2 and 3. So these are the 3 audio tracks. So you just choose whichever one you want. Say you want to put some audio in audio 3, just hit enable it for recording. But first of all you have to allow your software. So go to this, then go to, if this comes up, you go to preferences and audio hardware. It does automatically save, by the way. Edit, preferences, audio hardware. And to run it, here ASIO settings, input. Honestly, I just select them all. I don't know which one's which. I never have done. Hit OK. Hit OK. Hit that again. And there you go. You can then, that track has been selected. The R is for recording. So you've got all of these, I obviously don't touch them. Then you hit the record button, and then once you're ready to start recording, you just hit play. This is a test of the voiceover feature on Premiere Pro. And there we go. It does automatically play. Here we go. Clip is here, so let's just delete that. Go to here and hit play. This is a test of the voiceover feature on Premiere. Yeah, it does cut off a little at the end, but it does that all the time. Or it could just be me. So, we are now pretty much finished the show off. There's loads of stuff. I prefer... Of course, we were here. You can make workspaces, so hit new. Name it, untitled workspace, that'll do. And hit enter. Then you just drag. Basically it's saved exactly as it was. So untitled workspace. You can then drag them about. You can put this on top of it. Drag this out to the side. Put this by dragging a little. Put that there. You can reshape everything. And you can pretty much make everything extremely misshapen. This hardly looks that good for editing in, but I mean, come on, everyone likes something. Come on, I've just squished 4 things there. There we go. And, well, you get the picture. You might like that. I personally don't, because it's actually a pretty ugly way to edit. Chuck it there. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I wanted it. There. Drag it all down, and so on. So, yeah, once you're done, you pretty much hit new work. You pretty much just save it, I think. Is there a way to save it? I'm not really sure. Probably go to workspace, then new workspace. Okay. So there we go, I've just made 2. I don't like either of them, so I can just delete it. Delete workspace, then select untitled workspace and hit OK. You cannot delete the one you're working in, so I can then jump to there. Then hit delete workspace, name, Geek Slam, OK. And there you go. So I was going to show you the differences between editing workspace and editing CS 5.5. The big trick, watch around here where my mouse is showing you. At the top of, in the middle, and between the tools and the timeline. If I switch, and it basically just changes some size, it's just some minor changes that I made. But I will probably maybe be making some extra changes as well. I don't know. Here you can change your sources. I've got 3 sources, just close out of all of them. And well, yeah. So that's Premiere Pro. And so, as always, we reach a part in a video that involves a PowerPoint. So this PowerPoint is the pros and cons of Adobe Premiere Pro CS6. Let's begin on a good side with the pros. So 1, it's a professional and advanced video editor. So it is actually really advanced. When I first opened it, I'm like, what is this? How do I do anything? That is how I felt at my first look at, well, anything, but yeah. But after time I found this YouTube series and I learned from some guy who's about 30, I don't know, and did Premiere Pro 5.5 tutorials, and I believe his channel name is actually The New Boston, and it was really good. So yeah, I learned from him, and now I'm like, wow, there was actually a load of stuff you can do with it, which is actually really cool. And well, there was a little bit he didn't teach us, but yeah, you get the idea. Lots of features. Like I showed you, there are loads of features. And come on. All of these are features. Got all of these effects. You got just loads of different features. And I really mean loads. So you get the idea. A very customizable workspace. As I showed you, it's pretty cool. There are loads of different features of ways of customizing this workspace. So as I showed you, you can do, I don't know, this and this and this. Whatever suits the way you edit, I don't care. You can drag features around like there and there and there. I think, hold on, I didn't grab it. And there, and you get the idea. I got from this to, I got to that from that. Wow, yeah, I know. That's a lot. Oh yeah, you get the idea. Very customizable. Multiple operating systems. It's available on Mac and Windows. And it could even be available on Linux, I have no idea. But you should ask some Linux dude. So you could, like I said, you can chuck it in Windows. You could be editing in Windows, doing this, that, or the other on your personal rig or whatever, Dell or Samsung or something. And then you could send it to your friend who's editing on a Mac Pro. And he doesn't need to use Boot Camp. You don't need to use some sort of third-party software. Edit like that. You don't even need to export into XML or anything. It is amazing. Dynamic link. So I cannot actually show you it, but if you have Photoshop or After Effects or something like that installed, you can chuck your work over to After Effects, do what you need to do, some motion effect or whatever, and chuck it back in, and there's no XML needed, there's no exporting needed. Just right click. In fact, I'll show you. Just open, wrong one. Open this, just right click. Where is it? Where do I right click? Oh, you right click the clip and it says here, replace with After Effects composition. I don't have After Effects installed, so it isn't selected. So all you have to do is click it and After Effects will open if you had it, and yeah, easy. Next you have lots of drop down list settings, but not too many. I used Sony Vegas for a while. I just installed it just to see it. So confusing. I was actually scrolling in the drop down lists. I actually had to come up to one of these and scroll. There were too many. I mean literally too many. Wow, there were a lot. I don't want a 15-inch laptop. There shouldn't need to be that many. There are multiple ways of doing everything you can imagine. There's at least 2 ways, I bet, of doing it. I mean, come on, there's 2 ways of importing. You can go through your media browser, you can select it, or you can just right click it and go import. Get rid of audio here, you can drag it on with new audio on, or you can slip and everything. So many ways. And you might not even need to know all of them. You might just know one way, and yeah. Changing settings will help transitions from Final Cut and Avid Media Composer. So if you were using Final Cut Pro 7 and when Final Cut Pro 10 was released, you're like, what is this? A lot of you pro editors were. So you went out looking for a new video editor. So you didn't want to stay on old software such as Final Cut Pro 7. So you would then go to this and you're like, how do I start playing? What's the keyboard thingy for there? Like I showed you. Keyboard shortcuts. You can switch it to the Final Cut Pro 7 shortcuts. So on. We have a 30-day free trial. So you might be, I don't want to pay £100 for this. How do we do it? How do we use it? So yeah. Next up we have hundreds of effects. And literally, I showed you, there are I mean, look at this. All of them. Loads. You can put, literally, if I expand them all, in fact, if your videos actually don't look that professional, you know you're not using these that well. Of course you actually have to understand a lot of them, which would help. And we've got 10 pros, let's go into the cons. Confusing for beginners. So if I restore this to how it was, like, it really is confusing. I mean, look at that. Have you got any idea what you do here at the very beginning? So if you forget everything you know about this, you just, what is what I would think, and I don't know what you would think, it's sure what I did think. I just started clicking around in the top view, clicked around here, there, everywhere, and I found the media browser. Actually, let me take it to the window I was on, the workspace I was on originally. This is what I was on. I'm like, what? So I started clicking about, you know. I found my way to the media browser. I'm like, oh, I know what this is. That's my C drive. I called it Windows HDD for a laugh. I know what I do here. You go to, this is, you know, the thing, users. This is, where am I looking now? To actually know my videos, and let's go to, this is actually the first way I imported my media, but honestly I can't be bothered anymore. I just prefer right clicking, but this is actually quite cool. If I double click, look, it'll scroll in the timeline. Press I, press O. There is a way to split that, I don't know how. And cool, you get a little tiny little watching thing. Double click it and it goes up to here. Then you can watch it. You can drag your video in here, drag your audio in here. Yep, that is very unsynced, so I don't care. But now I just use, in my project, now I just right click and hit import. And go to wherever my video is. Too advanced for some users. I mean, surely it is true. But okay, so it's all down to the same thing, is advanced. I mean, people say don't upgrade to Final Cut Pro if you haven't used all the features in iMovie. With Final Cut Pro might be too advanced for you, you don't know. And then you've gone out wasting $300 on it and you're stuck with something you don't understand. Same thing for this, pretty much. Next up, too many effects and settings can scare and confuse new users. Well, it is true. So, if I go into the project settings, not project settings, the preferences, general, you've got all of these you can go through. In fact, where is it? Up here. There. This is what it default looks like. I actually prefer it at this darkness, which I need to set. But anyway, we've got all of these, and every one of them does different things. And yeah, apparently I have 3.9 gigs. And what was that? Device controller. Well, yeah, loads of them. Altogether, you need experience to be able to easily and professionally use it without problems. I mean, overall it's true. I mean, it is confusing, you need experience, and you need tutorials, which is what I did. I used a tutorial. In overall rating, my overall rating of Adobe Premiere Pro CS6 is an overall 9 out of 10 for loads of features, loads of settings, not too many, and really professional. Thanks for watching. I know that this has been a long video, sorry for that. You should have seen it before it was edited down. It took me about an hour and a half to edit the whole thing, and I still need to do the levels things and other effects. If you've watched to the end of this video, then leave a comment below saying the keyword Final Cut. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.